Imagine driving a car powered by a nuclear reactor that's like saying, "Honey, I'm going to the store. If I don't come back in 10 minutes, call the bomb squad, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls, gather around for a tale of a car so bold, so visionary, it made the Jetsons ride look like a horse." And buggy today, we're diving into the glowing, slightly radioactive world of the Ford Nucleon. Yep, you heard that right. A car powered by nuclear fission, because who needs gasoline when you've got enriched uranium in the trunk? Why did the Ford Nucleon break up with its girlfriend? Because she couldn't handle its nuclear personality. But seriously, what kind of car maker looks at the atom bomb and thinks, yeah, that did make a great family vehicle? Well, Ford did. And today, we're exploring every bizarre glowing detail of this atomic age marvel. Buckle up, because this is going to be one wild ride. No radiation suits required, the atomic dream, Ford's visionary leap. Let's go back to the 1950s, an era where everything was atomic energy. Atomic cocktails. Even atomic vacuum cleaners. Ford, not wanting to be outdone, decided to leap headfirst into the atomic pool with the Ford Nucleon. This wasn't just a car. It was a dream. A dream fueled by the power of splitting atoms, where the future wasn't just bright, it was radioactive. Why did Ford think a nuclear-powered car was a good idea? Because they wanted to make sure their customers were positively glowing with excitement. Ford envisioned a world where your daily commute could double as a potential science experiment. And who wouldn't want that? Just think of all the time you'd save on haircuts when you're losing it all to radiation. Designing a reactor on wheels. What could possibly go wrong? Designing a car is one thing. Designing a car with a nuclear reactor strapped to its back. That's a whole different ballgame. The Ford Nucleon was designed to have its very own mini nuclear reactor, right where your spare tire usually goes, because you know who needs a tire jack when you've got nuclear fission. How do you design a nuclear car that's both stylish and safe? Easy. Just make sure the passengers wear lead suits as the new fission trend. The idea was simple: power. The car with a reactor that could be swapped out like a light bulb, just don't drop it. Or you might find yourself needing more than just a tow truck. Safety first, or maybe second. Now, I know what you're thinking. Was this car safe? Well, that depends on your definition of safe. If you consider carrying around a mini CH Noble in your car safe, then sure, why not? The Ford Nucleon was all about pushing boundaries, including those of common sense. Why did the safety engineers at Ford always wear sunglasses? Because the future looked so bright and potentially radioactive. Ford assured everyone that the car would be perfectly safe as long as you didn't, crash it or anything, because let's face it, a fender bender with this baby might just leave a crater. The fallout of reality. Why the Nucleon never made it. Surprise, the Ford Nucleon never actually made it to production. Turns out there were just a few teensy-weeny issues like, I don't know, the fact that nuclear reactors aren't exactly street legal, and then there's the whole nuclear meltdown thing. What do you call a nuclear-powered car that runs out of fuel? A meltdown waiting to happen. The Nucleon was just a bit ahead of its time, or maybe behind, depending on how you look at it. Because as much as Ford loved the idea, they couldn't quite figure out how to get people on board with driving a potential mushroom cloud. Public reaction, glowing reviews. So how did the public react to the Ford Nucleon? With a mixture of awe, curiosity, and a healthy dose of fear. People were excited about the idea of a nuclear-powered car until they started thinking about what would happen if there was a fender bender. Spoiler alert. It's not pretty. How do you know? Know if someone drives a Ford Nucleon, don't worry. They'll tell you while glowing in the dark. And while the idea of a car that never needs gas sounds great, the idea of needing a hazmat suit just to change a tire, not so much the legacy of visionable fantasy. Even though the Ford Nucleon never made it off the drawing board, it left a lasting legacy as one of the most bizarre yet fascinating concepts in automotive history. It's a car that reminds us just how far we're willing to go in the name of progress, even if that progress involves a little radioactive risk. Why do car collectors love the Ford Nucleon? Because it's the only car that comes with its own fallout shelter today. The Nucleon is a symbol of an era where anything seemed possible, even if it wasn't exactly practical. It's a reminder that sometimes the future we imagine is a bit too hot to handle. Literally, what if the Ford Nucleon had hit the road? Now let's play a little game of what if.